Be honest. Something bad happened to someone you know, and part of you was quietly happy. You didn't say it out loud. You rearranged your face into something appropriately sympathetic. But inside, just for a moment, or maybe longer, you felt a warm flicker of satisfaction. But what kind of person feels good about someone else's misfortune? Well, almost every person who has ever lived. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will not only understand exactly why you feel this way, you will have very good reasons to stop feeling guilty about it. And I'll also tell you when this feeling does become a problem worth watching out for. But we'll get to that later. The Germans have a remarkable talent for inventing single words that describe emotions so specific and so human that the rest of the world is often left wondering why they didn't think of it before. The word we're talking about is schadenfreude, literally meaning harm joy, the pleasure you feel at someone else's misfortune. It sounds worse when you say it out loud, doesn't it? What a despicable thing to feel, right? But here is what the science actually tells us. Research has shown that schadenfreude activates the brain's reward circuitry, the same region associated with pleasure, motivation, and satisfaction. Your brain is not malfunctioning when you feel this. It is doing exactly what brains do, producing a feeling that evolution, psychology, and lived human experience have been quietly building into us for a very long time. Psychologists have identified 3 main triggers for this feeling. Envy, when someone who has something you want suddenly loses it. Justice, when someone who behaved badly finally faces a consequence. And rivalry, when someone you see as an opponent or a competitor stumbles and falls. Notice anything about that list? None of those triggers are signs of a broken or malicious person. All of them are signs of a normal human being navigating an unequal and often deeply unfair world. Which brings me to the first and most justifiable category of schadenfreude. And this one I think will resonate with a lot of you. In any society, at any point in history, there have broadly been 2 kinds of people, sheep and wolves. The sheep are those who create value, who work honestly, contribute genuinely, ask only for a fair return on their effort, and generally mind their own business. The wolves are those who plunder value, who accumulate power and wealth largely by exploiting, manipulating, or simply preying on the sheep. The corrupt politician who enriches himself at the taxpayer's expense while delivering passionate speeches about serving the people. The financial fraudster who dismantles the life savings of innocent families to fund his own extravagant lifestyle. The mob boss who terrorizes an entire community for decades while the authorities look the other way. These people cause real harm to real lives, and in most cases, they do so with very little consequence. The legal system is slow. Justice, in the formal sense, is expensive and complicated, and frequently fails the people who need it most. And in any case, the lawbreakers are quite adept at using the law with all its safeguards and loopholes to their own advantage. This troubles me so much personally that I'll make an entire video on it someday. Anyway, so when something bad finally happens to one of these wolves in our society, when the corrupt politician loses the election he thought was guaranteed, when the fraudster is finally led away in handcuffs, when the entrenched criminal's carefully constructed world of crime collapses like a house of cards, sometimes violently, the joy that ordinary people feel is not cruelty. It is the only form of justice many of them will ever get. And it is entirely, completely, justifiably human. But that is not the only situation where this feeling makes perfect sense. The next one is quieter, more personal. And if you look at this world realistically, I believe you will recognize it immediately. By the way, which country are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments. Moving on. Some people arrive in the world better equipped for it than others. Through no particular merit of their own, they are more physically attractive, more naturally charming, more effortlessly confident, more intelligent, more perceptive than the rest of us. They walk into rooms, and people are immediately drawn to them. They speak, and people listen. They smile, and doors open. They access new information and immediately process it, understand its implications, and neatly file it away in their limitless memory. They make strategic plans, take clever decisions and calculated risks, and keep going places. The point is this: When someone who has coasted through life on the tailwind of accidental advantages experiences a genuine setback, when the effortlessly charming person makes a spectacular public blunder, when the celebrity who seemed to have everything is caught behaving atrociously, when the smug entrepreneur with the Midas touch is suddenly bankrupted by one wrong decision. The quiet satisfaction felt by everyone who has always had to work harder for less is not petty. It is the natural response to a scale that was never quite balanced to begin with. Research in social psychology confirms this. People who feel most envious of high-status individuals also experience the greatest schadenfreude when those individuals fail, precisely because the failure momentarily levels a playing field that always felt persistently tilted. You are not a bad person for feeling this. You are a person who noticed the imbalance. And speaking of imbalances, the next category might be the one that produces the most satisfying schadenfreude of all, especially if you have ever worked in an office. Every workplace has a hustler, that one smooth-talking colleague who always manages to be standing next to the right leader at the right moment, who contributes little of real substance, but packages what little they do with such impressive-sounding confidence that nobody stops to examine their claims, who keeps climbing the corporate ladder while colleagues of genuine talent and real dedication watch from below with barely concealed dismay. You know this person. You have worked with this person. You may, at some point in your professional life, have reported to this person and come away scarred by the experience. When that hustler finally misses their targets or is exposed for claiming credit for someone else's work, or is, in the most satisfying scenario of all, fired, the ripple of quiet satisfaction that moves through the rest of the team is not vindictiveness. It is the acknowledgement of something everyone already knew, but nobody was allowed to say: that the workplace was never fair to begin with. Now look, I have saved what I think is the most personal and most understandable category for last, because this one is not about powerful people or lucky people or undeserving people. This one is about people who hurt you. When someone has genuinely wronged you through deliberate cruelty, betrayal, or just callous disregard for the damage they caused, and then something bad happens to them, the pleasure you feel is not something to be ashamed of. It is something to be enjoyed, like an exotic dish or a fine wine. You see, not every injury gets an apology. Not every injustice gets corrected. Not every person who caused you real pain faces any meaningful consequence for it. Life, as we have discussed in other videos on this channel, is often profoundly unfair in exactly this way. And so when life, in its occasionally poetic way, delivers karma on its own, without your active intervention, the quiet satisfaction you feel is not revenge. It is simply the recognition that on this one occasion, the universe balanced the scales. This extends beyond individuals too. Nations, communities, and groups that have suffered at the hands of more powerful forces. All of them experience this kind of schadenfreude collectively. It is not always the most noble response, but it is one of the most human ones there is. Now, I promised you at the beginning that I would tell you when schadenfreude starts becoming a matter of concern. You see, schadenfreude, like most sources of quick emotional relief, does not last. The brain's reward circuitry lights up briefly and then goes quiet again. It is the psychological equivalent of a tasty but unwholesome snack. It gives you a joyful thrill, but it does not nourish your soul or fulfill you emotionally. And if it becomes a habit, if you find yourself constantly waiting for someone to fail, measuring your own sense of well-being primarily by how badly others are doing, checking in on people you resent, hoping for bad news, that is a problem worth examining. Not with self-condemnation, but with honesty, because that pattern, over time, tends to make people more bitter, less empathetic, and perhaps more miserable. The pleasure at other people's misfortunes curdles into something that doesn't feel very good at all. The occasional, candid moment of schadenfreude, felt, acknowledged, and moved past, is entirely normal. The chronic version is a symptom worth paying attention to. So the next time you feel schadenfreude, here is what I would suggest. Don't suppress it. Acknowledge it. Enjoy it too, but be honest about it. Ask yourself which category it belongs to. Is it the satisfaction of seeing a genuine wrong partially righted? Is it envy speaking? And if so, Is it pointing towards something that is perhaps missing in your own life that you might want to address proactively? Or is it a residue of a past hurt that was never properly processed? Learn what it is telling you about yourself, and then, and this is the important part, channel that burst of satisfaction and optimism towards something that actually serves you. Your own growth, your own goals, your own life. Because ultimately, the most constructive response to the resentful feeling that others are better off than you is not to wait for their downfall. It is to build something of your own that makes their perceived advantage feel increasingly irrelevant. Doing that, admittedly, is harder than enjoying a brief moment of schadenfreude. But the self-satisfaction it brings you lasts considerably longer. If this video has resonated with you, please give it a like to support my channel. And if you find these kinds of honest, heartfelt conversations helpful, consider subscribing so we can build a little corner of the world for people like us. People who are simply trying to make peace with the way things are. Here's another conversation waiting for you whenever you're ready. Until next time, take care.